Quite a story here on NPR. 10-year-old girl is detained by Border Patrol after emergency surgery. They say immigrant advocates are protesting the Border Patrol's apprehension this week of a 10-year-old girl with cerebral palsy in the country illegally after she was operated on at a Texas hospital. Federal immigration officers intercepted the child as she and an adult cousin, who was a U.S. citizen, were in an ambulance being transferred between two hospitals so that she could receive emergency gallbladder surgery. Rosa Maria Hernandez was brought to the United States illegally from Mexico in 2007 when she was 3 months old, according to her mother, Felipa de la Cruz, to get access to better medical care. The family lives in Laredo, Texas, and are all undocumented. The girl was traveling in an ambulance, accompanied by her cousin, to Driscoll Children's Hospital in Corpus Christi on Tuesday when federal immigration officers stopped the vehicle at a checkpoint. The Border Patrol agents followed the ambulance to the hospital, according to the family's lawyer, Leticia Gonzalez. The agents insisted the door to her hospital room be left open at all times to keep an eye on her. On Wednesday, the hospital discharged Rosa Maria. The lawyer, reading the discharge papers on a conference call with reporters, said doctors recommended the child be released to a family member who is familiar with her medical and psychological needs. But officers decided to transport the girl to a government-contracted juvenile shelter in San Antonio, 150 miles from Laredo, and put her into deportation proceedings. The Border Patrol defends its actions at the checkpoint, the hospital, and the youth shelter. Dan Hetledge, a spokesperson for Customs and Border Protection, says throughout the two-day incident, agents were just enforcing federal immigration law. That is dark, man. I mean, that is really, really dark. That's what we want to do. Listen, even if you're somebody who considers themselves a conservative and you hear this story, does that not make you cringe a little bit? Does that not make you upset a little bit? Does that not make you feel like this is injustice a little bit? First of all, if you're brought here from when you're 3 months old, it was through no fault of her own whatsoever. She was just brought here. What was she going to do? Object at 3 months old? I'd like to say that we should... I can't talk yet, but I'd like to say that we shouldn't go. And I'd like to cite Section A, subsection L of the U.S. Immigration Enforcement Code. Like, what the... Come on, man. Come on. And then she's just going to get surgery. Now, what they're saying, by the way, is also not true because they're acting like, we're just enforcing the law. We don't have an option. We don't get to use our discretion. Well, actually, you do. Because this has been happening a lot recently where, you have immigration officials deporting people, like, right from the hospital and in other places like churches. And so it's been released now that avoid sensitive places. You don't go to the hospital and check there, and you don't avoid sensitive places because obviously the optics are pretty fucking bad. But they're not. They're not. And they go, well, no, but see, what had happened was we saw her at the checkpoint first. And yeah, but then you followed them to the hospital and went through everything. How does this doesn't keep America safe? Is that how you think you're doing? You're keeping America safe here? Let's deport this little girl who needed surgery. That's what we need to do. Again, we've gone over the issue of immigration in detail. And what's amazing is how the facts are the exact opposite of what many on the far right would like to pretend. So, for example, both legal immigrants and undocumented immigrants have a lower crime rate as a percentage than Native Americans. Native U.S. citizens, I should say. Not Native Americans as in Native Americans, than Americans who are citizens. Isn't that stunning? I mean, that really is, it blows people's minds. 'Cause you're like, wait, what? I was told that they're all criminals and no, it turns out that the overwhelming majority of them are here to try to create a better life for their family and yes, to work hard. Remember when when Alabama had the most strict immigration law in the country? What happened? They got rid of it a few months later because they said, holy fuck, our economy's like collapsing. So it turns out that immigrants are a net benefit for the economy. And now what we're doing is we're going to hospitals and we're deporting little girls. Wow, thanks for keeping America safe. It's bad. And look, Obama was bad with deportations too, but at least with Obama, the number is, I think, 90% of the people he deported were criminals. Now, I have no problem with deporting criminals. I don't know if that puts me in a different boat than everybody else listening here. I have no problem with that. But what we're seeing now is, this is just, there's no discretion. It's just a total and complete crackdown on undocumented immigrants to the point where it's even little girls who need surgery. We should probably stop doing this.